Hello, tabletop baseball and Stratomatic fans. This is Tribe Fan giving the final update on my New York Mets 1967 Super Advanced Stratomatic replay. This update will cover the final 7 games of the season, 3 against the Giants and 4 against the Dodgers. We'll get started with Game 1 against the Giants, which was Game 156, Danny Frisella versus Ron Herbel. And the Giants would get started with the scoring in the bottom of the first when Rob Schrader hits a leadoff single. And then Ty Klein hits a grounder to Ken Boswell, who misplays it for an error. And then Willie McCovey walked to load the bases, and Jim Ray Hart hits a ground ball. It was fielded, but not quite for a double play, and the Giants take a 1-0 lead. 2 innings later, Jim Ray Hart would do a little better than a ground ball. He hits the ball high, far, and deep into that San Francisco night with a 2-run home run, putting the Giants up 3-0. The Giants tack on even more runs in the bottom of the fourth when Jim Holler and Ollie Brown single to put runners on first and second. And then Hal Lanier with an RBI single to make it 4-0. Schrader hit into a fielder's choice, scoring another run to make it 5-0. And then Willie McCovey doubles, scored another one, but Ty Klein was thrown out the plate, stopping further damage, putting the Giants up 6-0. And that's all, folks, for Danny Frisella. He would only go 4 innings and get pulled. However, it didn't get much better when Cal Kuntz came into the game in the bottom of the fifth because Tom Holler, with a man on, goes deep, and the Giants are up 8-0. The Mets would salvage a run in the top of the seventh. Jerry Buchik with the leadoff double, and the next batter is Amos Otis, and he doubles home Buchik, make it 8-1. And then backup catcher John Sullivan with a single to make it 8-2. The Giants would add 3 more in the bottom of the eighth to make it 11-2, and that is your final to extend the Mets' losing streak. Frisella gets the loss. Herbel goes 6 for the win, and Lindy McDaniel with a 3-inning save. Game 157, thankfully, was a little closer. It was Ray Sadecki against Jerry Kuzman, and the only scoring comes in the bottom of the fifth. Jim Ray Hart with a leadoff home run. And the second run scores when Sadecki hits into a double play to make it 2-0, and that's it. However, the Mets did get the tying run to the plate in the ninth after a Bob Johnson triple, but unfortunately there was no scoring. Sadecki was just too dominant. He went the distance, giving up 2 hits, not allowing a run, walking 3, and striking out 13. Kuzman went 5 innings in the loss. And then the final game in San Francisco is Tug McGraw against Mike McCormick. The Mets would not score today. Unfortunately, some bad defense led to the Giants scoring 2. In the bottom of the first, a 2-base error by Tommy Davis puts Tito Fuentes on second base. And 2 batters later, William McCovey with an RBI single makes it 1-0. Somehow Mike McCormick is a normal power hitter with a number 1 hitting card because he hits a solo home run with normal power. And then Willie Mays with the knockout punch on McGraw. With the bases loaded, he hits it deep over the right field wall for a grand slam to make it 6-0. And that would be it for McGraw, only going an inning and 2/3. And then Fuentes with on a sacrifice fly makes it 7-0. You could say he added on the extra point on the touchdown. And that's it. McGraw gets the loss. McCormick goes the distance, giving up 6 hits, walking 1, and striking out 6. And now we head on to Los Angeles. And Tom Seaver with his final start of the year against Claude Osteen. And in the top of the first, the Mets get out on the board. A 1-out single by Bob Heisey. Tommy Davis singles, puts runners on first and third. And then Ron Swoboda singles to make it 1-0. However, the next batter hits into a double play, and Osteen limits the damage to just 1 run. And in the bottom of the first, Ron Fairley goes deep with a runner on to make it 2-1 Dodgers. And then Al Ferrara follows with another home run to make it 3-1. And in the top of the second, Cleon Jones would lead off with a solo home run to make it 3-2. However, the Mets would get no closer. Both pitchers actually didn't pitch terribly, and they went the distance. Seaver went the 8 innings in the loss, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. And Osteen went 9, giving up 6 with 2 runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Don't worry, I'll get to the real and replay stats for Seaver at the end of the video. In game 160, the Mets finally end their losing streak. And thankfully, it's something they probably didn't do much in this year. I didn't go back and check and see how many shutouts they had, but they held the Dodgers scoreless. It was Bill Graham against Bill Singer. And like I said, this game was all Mets. In the top of the first, Ken Boswell with a solo home run made it 1-0 Mets. And in the top of the fifth, a 2-out RBI single by Ed Kranepool scores the Bob Heisey. And then Ron Swoboda followed with an RBI triple, making it 3-0. And then Cleon Jones brings home Swoboda to make it 4-0 Mets. And then the top of the seventh, 3 straight singles by the Mets. The final one by Ed Kranepool scores Heisey to make it 5-0. Swoboda added another RBI for the game, making it 6-0 on a sacrifice fly. And that would be it for the scoring. Bill Graham gets the win, going 7 1/3, giving up 1 hit, not allowing a run. However, he did walk 6. Might have extended his day if he didn't walk that many. And striking out 3. The Mets got to Singer in 6. He only lasted 6, giving up 10 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. And the Mets also did something they didn't do very often during the year. They won 2 in a row. This game was game 161, Les Rohr versus Don Drysdale. And the top of the first, the leadoff single by Bob Heisey. And then for the second game in a row, Ken Boswell hits another home run as second of the year. And didn't play that much, only in September, and made 2-0 Mets. However, the Dodgers would tie the game in the bottom of the sixth. Drysdale with a leadoff walk. Rohr would get the next 2. However, he walked Lou Johnson, and then Al Ferrara singled to load the bases. And then the last batter that Rohr would face would be Bob Bailey because he hit a 2-run single. And the manager's like, yeah, you're gone. Rohr would get the no decision. He went 5 2/3, giving up 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. The Mets would take the lead in the top of the 8th with Drysdale still in. Ed Kranepool capped a 3-for-4 day with his 12th home run of the year. A solo home run made it 3-2. Garzenda pitched the scoreless 8th, and Ron Taylor the scoreless 9th for the save. Selma pitched 2 1/3 after relieving Rohr to get the win. And then Drysdale went the distance, giving up 11 hits, giving up 3 runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. Now we move to the final game of the season, Danny Frisella versus Alan Foster. This game was pretty much all Dodgers. The bottom of the first, one out walk to Ron Hunt, and Willie Davis hits a double in the gap, and Ron Hunt scampers home to make it 1-0 Dodgers. And then the Dodgers follow up with a 3 spot in the bottom of the second, the first runner on, and then Len Gabrielson hits a 2-run homer to make it 3-0. And then Bob Bailey singled. He went to third on a 1-out single and then scored on a Ron Hunt ground out to make it 4-0. The Mets added a run in the fourth. Boswell led off with a triple, and he scored on a Ron Swoboda RBI ground out. And then Frisella would be gone after 5. Cal Kuntz pitched the final 3 innings. He gave up a run. Foster almost goes the distance. He got the first out in the 9th, and then 3 straight singles. Kranepool, once again, the third single, scoring Heisey. And then Perinoski comes in, closes out the game. A 5-2 loss. Frisella would get the loss. Foster with the win, and Perinoski with the save. All right, so here's some final tallies for the season for the Mets. Their real record was 61-101. Unfortunately, I kind of went over that. My record was 56-106. I only kept home run and RBI stats, and Tommy Davis led the team with both, with 20 home runs and 63 RBIs. Yeah. However, the Tom Seaver season kind of went a little better in some senses and not so well in others. In real life, he went 16-13 with a 2.76 ERA in 251 innings with 78 walks and 170 strikeouts. And in my replay, he was 16-11 in 253 and a third innings with a 3.38 ERA with 88 walks and 177 strikeouts. So he's a little high in the walk total, made up for it with a few more strikeouts and just about 2 more innings pitched. So, well, it's been a fun project. I will say I do enjoy doing these lower teams, probably because I don't have a vested interest in it, and if they lose, hey, it's what they were meant to do anyways. However, I do have some news here. I will announce what my next project is. Now, as many of you know, I've done a pitcher project after I do a full season replay. In fact, I think I did 2 pitcher projects in between my 1971 Indians replay and this Mets replay. I did a 1971 Ferguson Jenkins replay, who won the NL Cy Young in 1971. And now we will do the American League Cy Young winner and do the 39 starts for Vida Blue. And to tell you his stats from 1971, in 39 games, he went 24-8, completing 24 games with 8 shutouts, 312 innings pitched, giving up 209 hits, 88 walks, 301 strikeouts, and a 1.82 ERA. Well, that's a lot to live up to. I will probably get started on that. I'll probably take a couple weeks off. I got to get all the information from all the teams, who played, who got injured when, all that usual stuff. Hopefully I'll get started with this in mid-September. Maybe I'll get the itch to get started a little earlier than that, but except for that. But all right, thank you for anybody who supported me on any of my projects that I've ever done. If you like what you see, please give the like and subscribe. And if you subscribe, please hit the bell icon. As I always say, may your dice be lively and your rolls be good.